I know that you were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation.
Diddy and Clive Davis, have they ever had anything past business? Because to me, they seem to mirror each other behavior-wise. Like to me, they both got like that dark energy around them. But I almost wonder, like, well, damn, you know, did they ever have anything? Well, I just wondered that, man, because they're very.
And then it's Grammy time, and her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead.
Here's the twist. Long before I found fame, I somehow got invited to her wedding. That moment stuck with me. And yet, the way Diddy speaks about Whitney now has people raising eyebrows. Some say if you really watch how he talks about her, it feels like he knew more than he let on. And that's not even the most unsettling part. Why does Diddy's name keep surfacing in conversations about high-profile celebrity deaths, shady industry dealings, and freakish coincidences? Some say the real connection behind all this points back to one man, Clive Davis. Now here's a theory people are whispering. Were Diddy and Clive just business associates? Or was there more going on behind the curtain? Some viewers say their energy mirrors each other too closely to be random. Both men, after all, are associated with some of the darkest rumors in music industry history. Let's take it back. Whitney died on the eve of Clive's legendary pre-Grammy party. Her body was upstairs in the bathtub, while the celebration downstairs continued as if nothing had happened. Ask yourself, why wouldn't Clive cancel the party out of respect? Why did the man who discovered Whitney show zero shock? Now bring Diddy into the picture. Could he be part of something larger, something hidden in plain sight? Some believe there's a long-standing protected network in Hollywood, one that rewards silence, erases threats, and never hesitates to make an example out of those who talk too much. And if that's true, then what's Diddy's role? Let's not forget, Bobby Brown has publicly said he believes there was foul play in both Whitney's and Bobby Christina's deaths. He's pointed fingers. He said that Nick Gordon, Bobby Christina's boyfriend, might have had something to do with both tragedies. But Bobby's hints go further. He's implied that the real story goes deeper than Nick, that there's a system at work, and that Whitney may have been caught in it. And then came the trial. Yes, the Diddy trial. That's where things got even stranger. His former assistant, Capricorn Clark, mentioned both Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey during her testimony. Unprompted, she dismissed Cassie's talent by comparing her to real stars like Whitney and Mariah. But then, it got darker. Diddy's lawyer asked Cassie if she remembered the night he overdosed on opioids, February 2012, the very same week Whitney Houston died. Cassie replied, "I believe so. That night we had a freak-off. Then we went to a club in San Bernardino. He threw a party at the Playboy Mansion. I went home. Later, he told me he took a strong opioid that landed him in the hospital." That timeline overlaps too cleanly with Whitney's death. Is it just eerie coincidence? Or is something more sinister hiding in the details?
I want the world to know that Bobby Christina did not die from the bathtub incident. That's not what killed Bobby Christina.
What killed Bobby Christina?
Bobby Christina was starved to death.
Do you approach that?
He knows what happened. I don't know what happened that night, but he does.
You walk through that door and you see her much like you saw Whitney.
It was literally, it was a nightmare.
I know that you were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation. So I was at her wedding, but I didn't really know her, but it was like the hottest thing in town for the music industry, but I didn't crash the party somehow. You know, I was a hustler. I got my name on there, me plus one. I went there and I was just like, oh my God, I'm at Whitney Houston's wedding. You know, I was a big Bobby Brown fan. And then throughout the years, I got to meet her. And she was so full of life, so full of just joy. And she always made you feel like she noticed you and recognized you and spoke to you. And she'll definitely, truly be missed.
Whitney was found unresponsive in her Beverly Hilton hotel bathtub. The official cause: accidental drowning with trace substances in her system, cocaine, Xanax, cannabis, and more. The medical examiner claimed she likely had a heart episode that made her pass out in the tub, but the same report shows no clear evidence of cardiac arrest, just mild heart disease, like many long-term smokers. So the heart attack narrative doesn't hold. Even more suspicious, there wasn't enough water in Whitney's lungs to fully support drowning, meaning it's entirely possible someone placed her in that bathtub after she was unconscious, or worse. So who did it? Why would Diddy care? Allegedly, Whitney and Diddy were not close. In fact, she reportedly didn't like him or trust his influence in the industry. She avoided what she called Hollywood games, and insiders say she saw Diddy as part of that machinery. Yet after her death, he was suddenly giving glowing tributes, talking about how they met, how he got invited to her wedding, how she made him feel seen. Was it grief? Or was it branding? And where does Clive Davis, CD, fit into all of this? CD isn't just another music executive. He's the godfather of the industry, the man behind legends. But he's also been accused of pulling the strings and cutting the strings when artists become too powerful or too dangerous. Many believe CD had total control over Diddy's rise. In fact, some say the price Diddy paid for his success wasn't just money, it was loyalty, extreme loyalty. In CD's own memoir, The Soundtrack of My Life, he openly talks about his same-sex relationships, saying he had 2 monogamous male partners for over 20 years. He also describes his first male hookup during the Studio 54 era in the late 70s. Could there have been more than mentorship between him and Diddy? There's a lot of smoke around that question, and some people think there's fire. Diddy himself has admitted that CD gave him his first real shot, played him Biggie tracks, let him lead the label into hip-hop territory. But people have long speculated there was a bigger price to pay. Not just access, but obedience. Allegedly, Diddy's job was to keep things under control, to manage problems and silence threats, to protect CD and the empire at all costs. And if someone like Whitney became a liability, well, you do the math. Bobby Brown may seem erratic, but he's been trying to tell the truth in his own way for years, in interviews, in breakdowns, in memoirs. What if Bobby wasn't broken? What if he was trying to warn us? Honestly, the more you peel back the layers, the darker it gets. So let's talk about it. Do you think Bobby Brown knows more than he's letting on? Is there a real connection between Diddy, CD, and Whitney Houston's final hours? And could all of this be part of a larger web of silence that's just now unraveling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you think these stories need more light and less spin, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this rabbit hole, we're just getting started.